本来就是想要。
Hello, everyone. Today, we're bringing you an episode filled with blessings and joy. Our protagonists are still the familiar Zeng Zeng and Can Can. Looking back, we've all witnessed their sweet romance and romantic proposal, and every share from them has been full of life. And today, they're here to share even bigger news. Through IVF, they've welcomed their 2 little babies. In my opinion, among many similar content creators, Zeng Zeng and Can Can are currently the couple I feel most familiar with and who embody true fulfillment. In this episode, Zeng Zeng and Can Can also explain for the first time in detail their considerations when deciding to have children, particularly regarding who would carry the pregnancy and why the older sister decided to carry it. The main reason is that the older sister is slightly older than the younger sister and is currently in a system-paced DIME, relatively ideal fertility window. If they waited a few more years, the older sister's increasing age could lead to her physical indicators not being as optimal as they are now, and the risks associated with pregnancy would also increase. Even more importantly, the older sister deeply yearned to become a mother and was willing to take on the responsibility of nurturing new life. The babies were successfully born in July 2025. We sincerely apologize, as the channel encountered some issues previously, which led to a long period of no timely updates and a delay in content release. We extend our apologies to everyone here. In the future, I will actively organize the channel and strive to resume consistent updates. This episode also addresses some commonly asked questions. 1. Regarding the choice of birth parent. As mentioned earlier, primarily based on the older sister's age advantage and her strong desire to become a mother, they jointly decided that she would carry the pregnancy. 2. Regarding the baby's gender. Initially, during the IVF transfer, 2 embryos were implanted, one from the older sister and one from the younger sister, hoping to have children with both their genetic material at once. However, embryo gender selection is not possible, and Zeng Zeng and Can Can weren't particularly concerned about it. Here's where something truly miraculous happened. One of the 2 implanted embryos failed to implant successfully, but to their delightful surprise, the other successfully implanted embryo split during gestation. This means they ultimately gave birth to identical twins. It's an incredible miracle, as the babies didn't come from 2 separate embryos, but rather from one single embryo that divided. Faced with something they had never experienced, Zeng Zeng and Can Can were filled with curiosity and also a little nervous about the baby's gender. After all, Chinese law does not permit gender selection for fetuses. They had worried that 2 boys might be quite mischievous, fearing they wouldn't have enough energy. However, later in the pregnancy, through certain means, they generally learned they were expecting boys. Now, looking at these 2 identical little guys, Zeng Zeng and Can Can's hearts are overflowing with joy. Although they initially envisioned a boy and a girl, they are equally thrilled now that both are boys. Because for them, children are a gift from heaven, with no special requirements. This blessing in itself is enough to bring them complete contentment. Recalling the entire process, it's understood that the older sister's embryo, which was transferred, was likely a girl, while the younger sister's embryo is the one that successfully split and gave rise to these 2 baby boys. Regrettably, the older sister's embryo didn't succeed, but the younger sister's embryo not only implanted successfully but also spontaneously divided into identical twins. This process was full of surprises and unexpected turns, and Zeng Zeng and Can Can have fully embraced it, firmly stating they will lovingly raise and educate these 2 children. For the future of their 2 little ones, they haven't set overly high expectations. They simply hope they grow up healthy and happy, becoming sunny and positive individuals. Regarding the ethical and legal questions you might be curious about, in China, same-sex partners cannot legally register for marriage. Therefore, they decided the children would take the older sister's surname Zhao and be registered in her household. From a legal perspective, as the children's biological mother, the older sister is naturally the sole legal guardian. However, what's significant is that they formed a very harmonious and beautiful family unit. The children's embryo came from the younger sister, developed in the older sister's womb, and ultimately carry the older sister's surname. We'll conclude our explanation of these both intriguing and controversial ethical and legal questions here for today. Although both mothers are overflowing with maternal love, taking care of two adorable babies still means sweet chaos every single day. That's all for today's sharing. If you have any thoughts, feel free to leave a comment and share them below. I'll strive to continue updating. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.